You guys remember our boy from The Matrix?
Hello, Neo.
The architect?
Who are you?
I am the architect. I created the Matrix.
As it turns out, he's a real guy. Joe Rogan interviewed him. His name is Thomas Campbell. He says we live in a simulation.
We live in a virtual reality. This physical reality is computed. It's being computed by consciousness.
Bullshit. Denial is the most predictable of all human responses.
Virtual reality has some very fundamental attributes. 1, there's a computer. 2, there's a player. 3, the computer computes some virtual space that allows the players to see what's going on and who's interacting with who. The virtual reality actually doesn't exist. It's just computer-generated eye candy for the players.
Your life is the sum of a remainder of an unbalanced equation inherent to the programming of the Matrix.
And you are not a human. That's an avatar. You are a piece of consciousness. You're a piece of consciousness that's a chip off the old block. You're a subset. You're a virtual machine inside a larger machine. That's how a big mainframe can have 1,000 users. You get 1,000 virtual machines. So everybody has their memory, everybody has their processing, and so on. You're getting a data stream. The data stream defines your reality. Consciousness has 2 different ways of processing information. One is logically, that's the intellectual side, and the other is intuitively. Now, in our culture, we work on that intellectual side, that logic side, and we hone that, get good at it, we go to school. The intuitive side, science tells you it doesn't even exist. We don't work at it. On the intuitive side, totally beyond logic. There is no logic. You just know. The information comes to you. It's intuitive. The Hindus called that the Akashic Records. So the purpose of this aware information system is to lower its entropy. Consciousness is easy to define. It's an awareness with a choice.
Nearly 99% of all test subjects accepted the program as long as they were given a choice.
What does this tell me? You have to make some kind of sense out of it to help you find your purpose, which is more order, lower entropy. There's 5 or 6 things that have to be just perfectly tuned to each other in this universe of ours for our universe to exist at all. If any one of them wasn't exactly as it is, the whole thing would be unstable. All of these various things are tuned to one another. It's not only that each thing had to be very special, but it had to be tuned to all the other ones. They all had to work together. So when these scientists realized that, they wrote this book, and they called it the Anthropic Principle because they said it looks like this universe was designed just for us.
Hey, you. You still think Antarctica is a continent at the bottom of a globe? You haven't figured it out? It's an ice wall yet? Well, stick around. If you watch this whole thing, you might just figure it out. Let's first take a walk down memory lane back to 1957 when the Navy went to Antarctica, and what did they find? A never-ending, and I mean never-ending ice wall. And I fast-forward this thing here so you can just get an idea of it. But they're panning and panning and panning and flying a helicopter and panning, and they never get to the end because it is an ice wall that surrounds all the known lands. Like I said, never ending. Keeps going. Research itself, and look, this is Antarctica down here, okay? They're not showing Antarctica as a continent at the bottom. They're showing Antarctica as an ice wall that surrounds us. This isn't the outline of a map. That's the outline of Antarctica. See, this is what NASA tells us Antarctica looks like. And to me, this looks like it could easily be CGI or something a kindergartner drew. And if you ever go on Google Maps or anything and try to do distances on this, it goes all haywire. You know why? Because Antarctica is an ice wall. And I don't claim to know what's outside of the ice wall. Maybe there is more land. I do believe there's a dome above us, and I think there's good evidence to support that. But I don't know. I don't know what's out here. It's all speculation. I think that this stuff there could be bigger and bigger domes. But like I said, it's all speculation. I think there even could be something like this, and I'm not saying with the eyeball, but just, maybe our life and our dome and our ice walls here, but then there are other ones outside. I even don't think that goes against the Bible and the teachings of Jesus and God, because maybe that Bible is just for our little world here, and there's other things that God created, and by the time he got to us, he wanted to do it right, and so he made us in his image. But even though I'm not sure about this, what I am pretty sure of, I do think there is a barrier, and I think there is some fluid above that barrier. I don't think that's speculation. I think there's good evidence of that I'm going to show you. Like I said, I think there's natural evidence that above our enclosed system is some sort of fluid. Maybe it's superfluid, maybe it's just regular water. But this is called the lunar wave, and it's been captured dozens of times. And I think this, plus what I'm going to show you next with stars, is pretty good evidence that it's not infinite space above us, but some sort of fluid. So again, this is what a star looks like if you've never seen it, but it looks an awful lot like a pool light in water. Like I said, it's evidence to support there's water above us. Guys, I really think it's about time you trade this in for that. And if you like this ice wall hat, find it at pittisflatearther.com.
For entertainment purposes, if I wanted to convince you that fallen angels are real, and that they've positioned themselves to be in sight, I'd start with Keanu Reeves, and here's why. First, I noticed a lot of songs in the music industry use his name, and there's a common theme surrounding those lyrics. Here's an example.
Fuck Illuminati, that boy Six got my back. Six make this beat. Six bring the heat. You got on repeat. Six got my back. Six make this beat. Six bring the heat. You got on repeat.
Which, by the way, this is the album cover that song is on. Next, I'd point out the comic book that he did. Not so much the fact that superheroes can be equated to the Nephilim. It was this.
I end up coming up with the storyline and everything. I mean, where do ideas come from? I know, yeah. So that's a very deep question. Where do they? Yeah. It came to me. I'm just like, were you in a character that could punch people through the chest? Yeah. And then, like, what if they were half god, half immortal? And then, what if they were alive for 80,000 years? What did you do with this idea? With that, and then he's cursed with violence. He doesn't want to be violent. He doesn't want to be violent. Oh, but it's in his blood. Can't die. Then he doesn't know who his father is.
Saying he doesn't know who his father is was the cherry on top. Next, I'd say his response when asked about the old photos that look like him. Also on Jimmy Fallon.
Have you ever seen the website KeanuIsImmortal.com or heard about this? I've heard about it recently. Yeah. This is fans of yours. You have a lot of great fans out there, and what they do is they find old paintings and old pictures from like the 1500s of dudes that look like you. So that you've been on the earth since you've just been around. There's just different generations. I just want to show you, just in case. We're all stardust, baby. I know.
Not only does that answer denounce God, but stars symbolically represent the divine beings who rebelled against God. I'd also have to point out some of his movie titles or plots, such as The Watcher, The Devil's Advocate, Constantine, Good Fortune, Exposed, a movie containing angels and demons, The Matrix, Replicas, Johnny Mnemonic, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Dracula. There's more, but I also want to point out that Reeve means overseer, and the Anunnaki are often equated to the Nephilim. Crowned nicest man in Hollywood. Even Satan masquerades as an angel of light. Worth noting, all this influence comes out of a city called Los Angeles, which means the angels, aka City of Angels, and they call them stars. Again with the stars.
It's like I would film things like that. I would encourage like everybody, all different types of sexual. But there is that thing where it's like a lot of people misunderstand me with S&M and they think it's super. And I have to like explain to people how, like, where it's more like you're tied down because you need to like be able to like have somebody hold you down and keep you still, or like you fight something out, or like. Be able to heal once you're beaten up or something. It's like it comes from a real place of like, you know, as opposed to being accessories or something like. It's like with tattoos and things. Like I've never always gotten them. There's like that time where he's like, oh, I have tattoos, and after a while, like, you can explain them and they can mean something. It's just comes from that real place. Yeah, I don't know. I only saw that film shoot right over that night. People were like darker, like that kind of, you know, but it's a great thing to be able to like see everybody's sexual, like just sexuality, but it's so weird when you just. I had like the most amazing compromising pictures of people.
Nipple plant, 3-told revolution. 1, 2, 3, ouch!
What do you mean by the revolution? And the twisting of a nipple or something?
Yeah, 3 full times.
I only saw that one she brought over that night though.
And then dripping candle wax on.
My snake, I had to incorporate. Yeah. But it's usually like ordinary. Those ones that have like
Hello? Yeah.
Light everywhere in the room.
You there?
I have to.
My brother tried to record, everything turned off.
A loud explosion. That's when
there was a lot of
everybody in there. Everybody run. All you seen was a bunch of little 14-year-old, like 15-year-old kids.
Out of here, bro. Everything turned off. Everything turned off.
Foot Locker or whatever. Next thing you know, you start hearing all this commotion outside. Sound like firecrackers or something. So, you know what I'm saying? I grab her close. I'm like, yo, we about to get up out of here because I originally thought that they were shooting. Next thing I know,
I was there at the Bayside Mall with my family, and we all saw exactly what happened. Don't pay attention to a lot of the videos that are out there. I feel like a lot of people are trying to use this for clout. But what happened, we all saw what happened, and it's pretty serious. It's been a few days, our whole family's processing it, but I think we've kind of accepted that we were a part of this weird experience and moment. So basically what happened was I was there with my brother Brian, my sister and my nephew. We were looking for shoes for my nephew, and then we see a whole crowd of people outside the store just running out in a direction. So as soon as we saw it, we were like, oh shit, what's going on? So we immediately ran out with our nephew, and we picked him up and we ran out and we followed the crowd. And then about a few seconds later, as soon as we started running, my nephew, he's autistic, so he was pointing behind us and he was saying blanky, which he'll usually say whenever he feels unsafe or scared. And he was pointing behind us. So me and my brother, we look behind us and then we see these 3, 9, 10 foot tall creatures. I'm not going to say aliens. Everyone keeps saying it's aliens. I'm not saying aliens because I don't know what it was. None of us really knew everyone. All of us stopped in our track. We, a whole bunch of people were pointing at it. There were other people running. There was a crowd. As soon as it made itself more apparent, it looked like it was glitching, not like a computer pixelation, but like a wavy glitch. And whatever maybe was covering them had, unveiled or whatever. It looked like a glitch, man. It like a weird glitch in the Matrix or whatever. And then you could see it in its full form, all 3 of them. And then, they were all black. You saw eyes, and you could faintly see like lips. But, I was about like 20 feet away. Because obviously everybody gave it distance, right? And, they're tall. So we all just like looked at them. They were just standing there. And the thing that was a little bit weird, but it was clearly like observing us. It was sentient, right? Like, or whatever. I don't know, but, it was aware of us. It looked at us, the whole crowd. And then as soon as it started walking with its big legs, like, kind of like it started like almost glitching again. We all ran. My brother like immediately said, yo, let's go. He grabbed me by the shoulder. We bolted out of there. And for anyone that's like saying, where's the footage? Where's the footage? Yeah, I know. I don't have any footage, and I'll explain why. Cause like when I saw it, I was in complete fear. It was something that I completely froze, man. I don't care if I sound like a bitch about it. Like, I froze. And I don't care who you are. I feel like when you're seeing something paranormal, it's different than when you're seeing a fight. Yeah, you'll probably want to record that and put it on WorldStar or whatever. When you see something paranormal, that's different. Because your reality, you can't comprehend what you're seeing. A fight, you kind of get it. 2 people are fighting. You can comprehend that. Something like this, none of us could comprehend. Your first instinct is like, it ain't to like take out your phone and start recording. Your first instinct is like, I've never seen this before. What is this? Is it going to hurt me or my family? That was my first number 1 priority. So if you don't believe me, I get it. It's fine. Like, it is silly. I'm sure that someone had footage from that night.
I'm saying these things out of love for my fellow humans. The shot is not medicine. It is an intro-body nano network administered through. What they're finding in people are not blood clots. It is self-assembling, self-replicating nanotechnology. Lipid nanoparticles that have been modified on a molecular level, wrapped in pegylation, polyethylene glycol, one of the components that can be used to make hydrogel. The lipid particles are modified to be more sensitive to heat and frequency. When placed in the human body, they become excited from the heat. In that excitement, they vibrate. With that excitement, magnetofaction is created, and the particles slowly drift towards each other, hence self-assembling. This intrabody nano network is the first step to make the human body a device linked into the Internet of Bodies. The shot also changes human DNA, rendering the person a GMO owned by a corporation. This allows for the system to freely harvest psychological, biological, genetic, and physiological data from the individual without their knowledge or permission. They are now products owned by the corporation that gave them the poke. At the top of all of those corporations is BlackRock and Vanguard. Information is now the new gold, and it will be the foundation for the new financial system coming, the CBDC. The next step
is a quantum dot tattoo that will slowly release quantum microdots, chips, into the human body, individualizing and authenticating all data for each individual. This is part of a transhuman agenda being initiated upon the population without their knowledge by global elitists working primarily through the WEF, the WHO, the IMF, and other global control systems that are not any part of one government. This technology will link every human being into the Internet of Bodies. It is the foundation for a global CBDC that will be controlled with quantum systems. This technology has the capacity to fully surveil and control every individual.
The colloidal gold.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Wow.
So, the really awesome thing about this is exposure at a distance. So the colloidal gold didn't actually come into contact with the sample.
You serious? Why would,
I'm
okay,
serious.
I have a question. Why would colloidal gold be working like this? I obviously know very little about it. Why would it be working this effectively?
I don't know the answers to that question. I know that colloidal gold carries an electric charge. We make it with the process of electrolysis. It can be made in the home.
I'm going to spell something out for you, real nice and slow, but it's going to be up to you to read it. This is Elvis, whose name starts with L, short for Elohim, which is another name for little g gods or angels, specifically fallen angels. And Elvis just happened to be very fond of wearing capes. Very fond. Very, very fond. And you know what capes remind me of? Wings. Maybe like angels' wings. And that, right there, that's the original face of the Statue of Liberty. Do you see a resemblance? Now remember, this isn't the devil. That's not. The devil masquerades as an angel of light. This is an 1848 actual sculpture of the devil. It's Lucifer. And I'd like to point out a few things like how there's a chain attached, and a torch, and an apple, and he's clearly an angel with a 7-point crown. A chain attached. Kind of like the Statue of Liberty, who also has a torch and is in the Big Apple and has a 7-point crown. In this painting of Lucifer from 1797 just happens to be exact. Coincidence. Probably just like this one is, right? And this one in an art gallery I passed the other day. And you know the funny thing about Elvis? He's got an interesting song. It's called The Devil in Disguise. Must be one of those coincidences again. When I found this to be an interesting symbol in the Elvis logo. It kind of looks like a lightning bolt. What's Lucifer again? The light bearer? The light bearer? Well, if he can be in disguise, maybe, just maybe, he can look a little different than that as well. You ever heard of this song by the Rolling Stones called Sympathy for the Devil? Well, I found a specific line very interesting. This one, in fact. I rode a tank and held a general's rank. Mick Jagger is singing this song about being the devil. Well, the only U.S. general famous for riding tanks was General George Patton. You know, this guy who just happens to have these two holes in his face right here. You see those 1 and 2 from left down to right? You know who looks strikingly like General Patton? But I mean, he wouldn't have those same holes, right? You can almost see him in the split screen. When I say they went from left down to right, kind of looks like those, wouldn't you say, left down to right? Little gouges in his face. And who sang that song about sympathy for the devil again? Oh yeah, Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger. Left down to right. And the name Nick in Hebrew, it literally translates to who is like God. And what did Lucifer want to do again? Oh, be worshipped like the Most High. You know what else is interesting too is that 1848 actual statue of Lucifer. Well, do you see those? Left down to right. Boy, they made those statues accurate. What do you think I found on the original Statue of Liberty face? You guessed it, left down to right. Oh, and to tie it all back in. Think we're gonna find it right there? Left, down to right. Gouge, and gouge. Lucifer, he was made with timbrels and pipes, meaning that he was a music-making angel in heaven. So you think now that this character's just gone, that he stopped, or even stopped at Mick Jagger? Well, you ever notice the commonality in their lips? There's Mick Jagger, and hey, that's Angus Young of AC/DC. That's Angus Young of AC/DC, who always does the devil horns. And that's Youngblood with those same lips. Did you ever hear what he said? 2 kids, by the way. You think maybe, just maybe, they're gonna be there? What's your guess? Top left. Gouge to bottom right. Gouge. Oh, did you ever hear this song by the Beatles, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? I wonder what Lucifer they're talking about. Oh, by the way, Lucifer, he was made with precious stones adorned with ruby, topaz, and diamonds. Makes you rethink the music you've listened to your whole life, huh? Also the TV shows, too. I Love Lucy. I wonder what Lucy they're talking about. What were the other cast members' names again? Oh, yeah, Fred, Ethel, Ricky, Lucy, F-E-R. Like I said, I'm going to spell it out for you real nice and slow. It's up to you to read it. What was it they say in that movie, Usual Suspects? The greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing the world he didn't exist. And I'm sure the Bible talking about him coming as an angel of light was just metaphorically speaking. He definitely can't disguise himself into people that you worship. Entertainment only, my friends. I don't really think that the guy that a lot of you voted for is the actual devil. No, that's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. Oh, that's the 1848 statue of Lucy, by the way. And I definitely don't think he parades around as most of the music industry, getting us to worship him in his favorite pastime. Nope, not at all. I'm a satire account. Entertainment only.
3, 2, 1. That sounds...
Conspiracy is worldwide. It has its tentacles in every country, its agents in every government. We must expose it before it destroys us. From Moscow to New York, from London to Paris, the same forces are at work. The same hidden hand directs the same schemes. There is not a government in the world that does not have its Jewish agents, not a bank that is not controlled by Jewish money, not a newspaper that is not influenced by Jewish opinion.
We're now reaching levels of pathetic that I don't think any of us even knew existed. Trump said he met with contractors today, and they said that he's going to be forced to release and drain the water in the reflecting pool. And if for some odd reason you thought he would take responsibility for this whole fiasco, you know, turning the reflecting pool a bright green, well, I don't know why you would think that in the first place, but think again. This is the line Trump's pushing. It was vandalism. It looked amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. And then vandals had to go and ruin it. Trump writes, many additional people have been arrested having to do with the disgraceful vandalism of our beautiful reflecting pool. It hasn't looked or worked like this since 1922 when it was originally built, but even then it leaked badly and didn't work. Ours worked perfectly, including the mirror-like finish, perfectly reflecting the two great monuments which it never had before. What these terrible vandals have done is a true affront to both Presidents George Washington and Abraham Lincoln and should be dealt with accordingly, blah, blah, blah. I have to drain the whole pool. It's obviously all nonsense. The reflecting pool looked fine before it did reflect. That's why it was called the reflecting pool. And anybody who listens to the Midas Touch podcast, or anybody who just, I don't know, understands basic science, knew that the pool would turn green. It's not vandalism, it's called photosynthesis. Trump created the perfect conditions for algae to fester and fester fast. And just think about this for a second. They are going around now and they are arresting people who are taking some of the paint chips home with them because, you know, not only was the reflecting pool green, but the blue paint that they put, it's all chipping off. And so people are like taking those pieces as souvenirs. But Trump is arresting these people on like major federal crimes and wants to put them in prison for like a really long time. They are not the reason that the pool is green, buddy. They are there because the pool is green. And by the way, if they don't fix the underlying filtration problems and they just try to fill it back up again, the same thing's going to happen. And you know what's honestly just extra pathetic are the Trump followers who just repeat every word. Like, you'll probably see there'll be some people in the comments here who are like, vandals did it. It wasn't Trump. It wasn't photosynthesis. It wasn't science. It was vandals. It was Democrats. Like, stop. Get out of the cult. What are you doing? So embarrassing.
Of pounds on an experiment to dim the sun.
I don't know what else to tell you guys. They've literally told you in government, in the parliament debates, that they have spent tens of millions of pounds to dim the sun. So when you see all of this in the sky, it's not condensation, it's reflective chemicals, it's solar radiation management, it's stratospheric aerosol transport and nucleation, it's geoengineering, it's cloud seeding. It is not natural. So for all them people that laughed at the conspiracists, unlucky, because not one cloud you're seeing behind me is natural. This is all sprayed in an experimental operation to dim the sun to try and help global warming, even though the sun is the giver of life and it's made this world go around for thousands upon thousands of years. But suddenly in 2026 we need to dim the sun. But as always, beautiful people, what do I actually know? This was just for entertainment. I'm just a crazy conspiracist and I was only joking. These are all real natural cloud formations and possible condensation from the aeroplanes just commercially flying to and from their holiday destinations.
This is pretty terrifying. We're now finding out that Alpha Gal isn't the only thing you need to worry about when it comes to ticks. There's something even more lethal. It's called the Powassan virus, and a tick can transmit it to your body within 15 minutes.
Whether it's hunting or fishing, John Regan is an avid outdoorsman. But this active, on-the-go, freshly retired man has been hospitalized for weeks after a tick bite.
And now it's like he's just from a tick, you know. And I've never even heard the word before until they came out with it, you know. And it's just tough seeing him in this position.
Regan was diagnosed with Powassan virus, which is spread to people by the bite of an infected tick.
And just like Alpha Gal, this virus has also been flying under the radar as it slowly takes lives across the U.S.
A local family is warning people that a tick about the size of the mark from this pen tip could change your life forever. Kevin Boyce didn't know he got bit, but his life took a tragic turn around this time last year. He spent 24 days in the hospital with flu-like symptoms that ultimately led to brain damage.
It was horrifying, but we knew what Kevin would want, so, you know, we just had to let him go.
His sister says it was Powassan virus, a rare but dangerous disease that's carried by the black-legged tick, which also transmits Lyme disease. Local environmental experts say that tick populations have been on the rise over the last several decades in Massachusetts because more of them are surviving milder winters.
And that's the scariest part about this tick invasion. When you release so many deadly, almost invisible creatures into the environment, they can spread all sorts of scary diseases. And this isn't stopping with the US either. People are reporting more ticks in Ireland. And a lot of Canadians are also saying the ticks this year are on a whole other level.
Guess what?
I came back from a nice peaceful walk and noticed lots of tiny crawlies all over my pants. Yay! At first I thought, what in the prairie wilderness is this? I am full of ticks, and not just one or two, but 47 in total. Yikes!
But then again, this shouldn't be surprising, since we knew they were sending ticks to Canada.
So this forum post, and I'm going to put it directly on the screen, and I'm going to read it word for word. It says this, quote, I work for a private charter company in Ontario, Canada. The company handles booking and chartering flights across Ontario mainly. We are paid to spread ticks by air. It happens twice a year, early spring and early fall. This year, we've been hired to do it earlier. The company receives the ticks in boxes. Each box contains millions of ticks. The aircraft used are generally single or dual prop aircraft, single pilot, and one other passenger that handles the dispersal. It pays a lot, and I mean a lot. Generally, the ticks are dispersed in several specific regions in Ontario, and it's always the same regions each and every year, thus far. Last spring, the ticks dispersed were mostly American dog ticks. This year, they are all deer ticks, supposedly specifically bred to withstand cold temperatures. End quote. So that post was from March 16th, 2 weeks before Snopes said that this story originated. All right. And it's pretty interesting. Here we have a whistleblower saying that they are paid to disperse ticks across Canada. Now, this sounds eerily familiar to what we're hearing about these boxes of ticks that are being found. And it begs the question, was this person telling the truth?
You know what the darkest conspiracy theory about aliens is? I don't know if I'm ready for it. That Earth is essentially a farm, and human beings are the vessels that contain souls, and they want us because this is how they create souls. And so they're farming us. They've created us. And so we started off as primates, and through some sort of genetic intervention, I'm not saying I believe this. I'm just saying that this is like top of the food chain. Put your tinfoil hat on super tight. That they farm us. And that the whole reason why human beings are involved in this conflict, constant conflict, is it's all of it is to increase our competition with each other, increase our ability to control resources, which will increase our technology, which will ultimately lead to us creating this being that we're going to create, this artificially intelligent super god. The top companies that are creating AI, all of them are anti-God. Every single last CEO. Top 5 in particular. The top 5 companies that are producing the most AI that are going to transform planet Earth. All 5 CEOs are unbelievers and against God. No. the AI issue is going to have to be addressed greatly by the church. Because even Elon Musk said, he said 10 years ago, we didn't think what is going to happen next year could ever happen in the future. It's called AGI. Yes, I've heard of artificial general intelligence, which means that this is what they believe, is that by next year, there is no part of the human thinking that an AI machine could not think in a better way. Man, they're talking about, Elon Musk said something strange. He said in about 10 years, the retirements won't mean nothing. You should hear you know what the crazy thing is that this is what people don't know. All of the top companies are investing huge amounts of money in artificial intelligence because they have now found a way to get one computer to replace 10,000 people. Oh my goodness, because that's AGI, artificial general intelligence. I don't need an accountant when this can count better than you and faster than you. I don't need a secretary when this thing can plan better than you. I don't need an analyst because this thing has been programmed to analyze better than you. They're getting ready to wipe out the whole job market over computers. We are creating our own enemy. And it's in the book of Revelation. Man, people crack me up. I said, y'all don't say stuff if it's not in the Bible. People attack me over this until they went and read it. In the Bible, it says that it is a robot that gives the command for us to receive the mark. And us is y'all, not me. Hold on, a robot. What do you mean by that? So watch this. When God gave these visions to these men 2,000, 4,000 years ago about our time, they did not have the ability to explain the technological wonders that they saw. So when John saw a helicopter, he called it a grasshopper. They had no point of reference. That's why he said this thing looked like a grasshopper. He said its wings roared like the sound of a multitude or many horses galloping. He can't explain what he sees. All he knows is this is something, and this thing is loud. That's why he said it would shoot snakes that had fire coming out the back. Because that's what a missile looks like to a man that don't know what a rocket is. See, so we don't understand that what the Lord showed them, he showed them the future, but the technology and the terminology for the future that they were looking into didn't exist. So they had to use the terminology of well, this looked like a grasshopper, this looked like a snake, but fire came out his tail. You wouldn't know what a missile was. See, so in the book of Revelations, John said, I saw them create a statue. Robot. He didn't know what a robot was. All he knows is he saw something that looked like a statue that looked human. Then in the next sentence it says, and I saw as they gave the statue life. Electricity. He didn't know what electricity was. All he knows is that the statue came to life. Yeah, he's watching men in the future create a robot, infuse it with AI, turn electricity on, and this thing empowers. And then the next sentence says, and I watched as the statue began to speak great swelling words. And the first thing it says was, I command you to make every person receive this mark. Go back and read it. Go back and read it. AI is going to be the greatest thing that will judge the churches that don't walk in power. Ooh.